only one woman on the face of the earth, Mary Lillian Ellison. This Southern belle proved that a lady's place was anywhere she wanted to be. In the ring, she had paramount success, holding the title for over 29 years. Her performance was first class. Although she never shied away from hair pulling, kicking, and a strong punch, somehow, through it all, she managed to maintain her charm. In fact, many of Hollywood's leading men flocked to ringside, only to have their hearts broken by the fabulous Moolah. Her beautiful eyes, her style, and grace are legendary.
Lillian Ellison personifies what women's wrestling is all about. She had the moves, she had the abilities, she had the technique, and most important of all, the desire to be the women's champion. And that's why she held on to the title for so many years. But outside the ring, a more congenial, a more lovable, a more likable individual you'll be hard-pressed to find than the fabulous Moolah.
When Moolah took a stroll around the ring, she dragged the hearts of every man in the arena along with her. For over 40 years, this maiden of the mat remained a driving force in ladies wrestling. South Carolina is where she makes her home now. Why not? And name the street after her, Moolah Drive. The World Wrestling Federation Hall of Fame is honored and privileged to welcome the First Lady of Wrestling, the fabulous Moolah.
Here to induct the fabulous Moolah, the current World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion, individual whom we were all extremely proud of, carrying the banner now. Here she is, Alundra Blake.
Thank you, Vince. Actually, I don't know who's more scared, myself or Lillian, giving this speech. Tonight's a great honor because it represents everything. History, it opens up the doors for women. And I want to start back in 1956. A legend in women's wrestling was born when Lillian Ellison stepped between the ropes and entered the squared circle. On that memorable evening, nobody could have ever imagined the impact that Lillian or the fabulous Moolah would have on the world of professional wrestling. After capturing the women's title by defeating June Byers on that fateful night, Moolah went on to defend her championship gold for nearly 29 years, a record that this great sport will never see broken. Well, maybe anyway. Love you, Moolah. As the current World Wrestling Federation Women's Champion and the leader of the feminine movement of the new generation, I realize that neither I nor the entire state of women's wrestling would be here today had it not been for Moolah and her courageous fight to survive in a prominently male-oriented business. Moolah's accomplishments speak for themselves, but for me, there was one night in her spectacular career that will forever be etched not only in Federation history, but also in the hearts and souls of every young woman struggling desperately to make it in this man's world of professional wrestling. The night of which I am speaking took place in the year of 1972. Up until that point, Moolah had to defend her title all over the world from city to city and arena to arena. That is except for one. The house on 33rd and 7th, better known as Madison Square Garden. At the time, the powers that be at Madison Square would not allow women to compete in a world they saw fit only for men. Unfortunately for them, this did not sit well with Moolah. Fueled by a level of pride, equaled by only those who we call legends, Moolah was woman, and the executives at the Garden would hear her roar. With Vince McMahon Sr. by her side, this dynamic duo fought through numerous court battles until, when in the end, Moolah overcame all obstacles and barriers and was finally allowed to host her own garden party. Needless to say, Vicki Williams was the sorry weeping willow that night. 22 years later, Alundra Blake stood center ring at Madison Square Garden and proudly defended her women's title at WrestleMania 10. While the victory was indeed sweet, I realized that it would have been only a dream had it not been for the determination of one lady, Lillian Ellison, the fabulous Moolah. Moolah, as the women's representative of the World Wrestling Federation's new generation and the voice of every female wrestler sweating night after night, trying to make their mark in a business which many feel we have no business being in, I thank you. Had it not been for your courageous battles, your heroic pride, and your overwhelming heart to succeed, women would have never been given the chance in this great sport. You are a woman, you are roared, and for that, we will never forget you.
Thank you very much. I had a lot to say before Alondra did her speech. Pretty soft-hearted, but I tried to make it through here, bitch, you know what I mean. Anyway, tonight is the greatest night of my life, being inducted into the WWF Hall of Fame. And I would like to thank everybody, everyone in the WWF for making me an honorary to be in the Hall of Fame. And especially, I would like to thank the McMahons. And words cannot express how much I admire and love Vince and Linda McMahon, and your father too, Vince. Vince Sr. was one of the greatest men I ever met. He liked my ability, he gave me a chance, and I guess the rest is history. And Alondra, I would like to say to you, I'm very proud. And I wish you, all of us in the world, a long, successful reign. But it won't be 29 years. Anyway, I would also like to thank everybody out here for being here tonight. And I'd like to thank all the people overseas, everywhere that watched me in my years that I was going strong. And I don't know what they thought about the fabulous Moolah, but I do know that without them, I could have never achieved what I have today. And this is the greatest night of my life. Thank you very much.